12.
I care about the Garleans as a whole, and you know what? They got attacked. They have every right to defend themselves and fight back right now. I don't feel bad, I feel bad for the Garleans. I sympathize with them right now.
Oh, Garlean sympathizer.
I'll say it, whatever. I'd rather go fight for the Garleans. You know what? Hey, how about this? Fuck Alamigo and their weird little bullshit strategy of pulling Eorzea into war. Fuck that. How about I go fight for the Garleans and get them more under oppression? I'm ready for some more control here. Plus, I get sweet Magitech armor.
Yeah, I want to be a Magitech class.
To be fair, and all
sounds to me
disclosure.
like he just wants to be subjugated by the Garleans.
I'm just saying, full disclosure, ever since the Titan fight where I had to go through like 12 different quests to have a party for myself before I was allowed to go fight Titan, I've been a Garlean sympathizer. I'm like, you know what? Fuck Eorzea. These people are clearly not meant to survive. I want to go fight for the Empire.
Wow.
Yeah, 10th Tech Priest in the chat. Garlemald did nothing wrong. They really didn't in this that we've seen. I'm sure they've been assholes to Alamigo for 20 years, but we don't know that right now, and it doesn't make me want to go fight them. All I see is
they
got
oppressing
attacked.
a people.
Good for them. They need to do it better.
Okay, maybe we don't know if they're oppressing people. I mean, at this moment, they could be improving their way of life. It's been 20 years.
Yeah, we don't know anything about what Alamigo was like. Maybe it sucked. Maybe Alamigo was a shithole.
I mean, it did spawn Ilberd and Raubon.
Yeah, they came from there. I want more of
cool.
them. Is he?
Yeah.
I can't say that.
I got nothing for that, no. Jux is losing it over here.
What do you want to say, Jux?
I can't. It's too racist. I can't say it.
Whoa.
It's too racist.
Whoa. You're actually claiming something is too racist?
Too bad. It's too.
No, you have to say it. We're giving you a pass now. This doesn't count.
No,
because you're not saying it. You're just like telling us what it was. Come on.
How good of a place can Alamigo be? Both Raubon and Ilberd came from there, and you know how they look.
What?
Oh,
what about how they look?
How do they look?
You know, it's just those kind of people. You know.
Oh my god.
What kind of people?
You know how they act. You know, the sand people. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Jux
saying,
is
right?
really
Wait.
Jux is really
Tusken
racist.
Raiders?
Tusken Raiders, yeah. Really against Tusken Raiders.
Yeah.
And Jawas. You don't like Jawas either, do you?
Yeah, that's where I was going with that.
No.
Wow.
I like what Rain Hero in the chat said. Garlemald did one thing wrong. They failed to stop Eorzea. And that's it. Really, I don't feel any ill will against Garlemald at this point.
Well, all right, what about the fact that they destroyed Doma? Yugiri's from there.
Something I never saw and happened a long time ago, and the only consequences of it happening...
You're claiming it's what, propaganda now?
No.
Did they really destroy Doma?
I'm sure they did, but you know what? The only effect of them destroying Doma that I've gotten to see is that I got to meet Yugiri, and we got Ninja added to the game. So thank you, Garlemald.
All right.
Ta-da! I'm saying the Garleans should be everyone's friend at this point.
I guess.
And I'm not being paid by any Garlean sympathizers to say that out loud.
We welcome our new Garlean overlords.
I do. What if we all just make a pledge to not do the storyline in the next one and let Garlemald take over?
That'd be an interesting way for them to organize their game.
Was anybody else super disappointed with Omega's design?
Oh yeah.
He looked like...
He looked like
when he's on the ground, he looked like FF11 Omega.
Yeah,
Well, no,
Yeah.
like, which is fine.
But when he was flying, though...
I didn't imagine or think that they would make like a completely new Omega. Like, sure, take, the traditional image that we have Omega, but like he looks so rickety and like a piece of shit. Like he was gonna fall apart at any moment, and he's supposed to be like this ultimate badass machine.
He's been disabled for a long time.
It's a little steampunky, let's be honest.
By
Like,
the way, he was like
Yeah, he definitely had like the proto Omega thing going on.
like even Ultima looked way cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah, ultimately they borrowed like the FF8 design, and like that, it was pretty badass looking.
By the way, I do want to apologize to our live audience. The stream cut out for a little bit. We got Comcasted. So if you want to be helpful in those moments instead of giving us shit, why don't you take to Twitter and tweet at Xfinity?
Oh my God, yes,
and let them know.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Let them know that the fact that they can't provide simple internet service is affecting your ability to watch your favorite or least favorite show.
Oh my God, yeah, every time we get Comcasted, just light up their Twitter.
Like 200 plus people
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, they'll fix the problem in a fucking hurry.
Not to mention, like, if they had a business line, this would be awesome, but your company says they're not allowed to have a business line.
You know, honestly, like, I wouldn't mind if, like, we got donated a business line and they wanted to maybe, I don't know, display a logo on the show. I think
we'd be willing to do that.
I think that might be an amicable trade. I'm not a fan. I'll never sit here and sing the praises of your product, not until you can provide me a stable product. But if you provide me a stable product, then maybe I might be like sellout Chris Hardwick and appear on some Comcast commercials. That's right, Chris.
That got real specific real quick.
That's right, Chris. I've heard you on those goddamn Xfinity commercials. I know you're in their pocket.
Oh, Chris, you
Piece of
hosted one
shit.
of my favorite shows.
I know.
I don't know
What happened to the Nerdist.
At Midnight was such a great show.
It was. Is
So
that still
that's
around?
Chris?
Is
I
that-
think that's-
yeah, that's
that's
Chris
Chris
Hardwick.
Oh,
yeah.
I love him.
That show's
Guys,
still going.
I'd actually like to do a little something here.
What's that?
I would like to bring Skuro onto the show so I can ask him a question.
No.
No.
He's busy doing Colin stuff.
Is he?
Kind of.
Well, he should be.
Just bring Discord up, because he had a very specific theory that he thought was going to happen.
If he says anything about space stations,
No
I'm gonna
space
fucking
stations.
murder him.
It's no space stations.
I'm gonna rip his fucking larynx out.
No space stations. Although now I kind of wish he does. Skuro, are you there?
we got Skuro in there. He might be muted himself. Skuro, unmute yourself.
Jesus, you fucking
Oh
idiot.
yeah, that's the thing.
There you go.
Buttons do stuff.
So
Yeah.
so Skuro.
Hi, failure.
Hey, piece of shit.
Really quick, do you want to explain to us who it was that Ilberd was summoning?
Oh, you mean Ralger?
Yeah.
What?
How'd
Yeah.
that turn out for you?
Yeah. How's
Fucking dumb.
Ralgar there?
Yeah, you know, one of the fucking gods of Eorzea, because that makes fucking sense, man.
Yeah.
But they summon their gods, man.
Okay, well, primals aren't gods.
They
But
made
they're like, aren't they supposed to be like after gods though?
no, obviously the
weird
beastmen
type of
look
god?
at them as though they're gods, but that doesn't make them gods. They're
Right.
lesser races.
Shiva was just a person with powers.
Right.
And then
Sounds like some semantics to me.
I don't know. That seemed like a whole lot of scales and fire breathing for fucking Ralgar, dummy.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that, I don't know, maybe because Ilberd used dragon eyes as a power source, it makes sense that he'd turn into a dragon.
A dragon.
But it's a Doman dragon.
No,
though. That's the bullshit part.
no. They didn't say, "Oh, look, that is definitely irrevocably, obviously Shinryu." They just said, "Oh, bears some similarity to a Doman tale." Which, guess what? If you look among all the different religions and all the different like backgrounds and histories and mythologies, guess what? Every single civilization in the world has a flood story. It just happens to be, oh yeah, it reminds me of Shinryu. Doesn't mean it's fucking Shinryu.
Yeah. It's not supposed to be the Doman dragon. That's stupid. No one involved in making the dragon was Doman.
But
What?
how hard would it have been just to give the fucker wings and give him, like, I don't know, I guess dragon eyes, even though I really do feel like that has nothing to do with it. It's just a power source. Like, it's just
Okay,
bullshit.
except dragon eyes are like the essence of the dragons and their
Yeah.
power. You fucking idiot! Of course,
they
it would turn
fucking
him into a
Because
dragon.
that's the catalyst that made the goddamn primal in the first place.
It turned
You
a
need-
human, or sorry, an Elizin straight up into a dragon. So why wouldn't it turn a death orgy into a
Well, that's the
dragon?
thing. Okay, but that actually had Nidhogg's soul in those eyes, and now that's already been, I guess, like exercised or some bullshit. So it's
But
not
it
even
was
there
still-
anymore.
it
Never
was-
exercised Nidhogg from his eyes.
Yes, they did. That was the ending
Yeah,
of 3.3.
he fucking float
They-
up in the sky.
They
What the fuck?
exercised
That's
the
exercise.
eyes from Estinian, but those are still Nidhogg's eyes.
No, but you
No.
see Nidhogg's spirit leave them.
Yeah.
That happens in 3.3. That's the ending of that.
Right.
You
Just
Nidhogg's
blocked it
spirit
out.
leaving.
But
and
they're
then becoming
still,
just Aether
But
batteries.
but that's the thing is that they're still the Aether batteries, and they're still incredibly imbued with an incredible amount of energy.
It's draconic Aether
and
energy.
that was the catalyst that he needed.
They're
He needed
eyeball
the Aether.
crystals.
They're basically serving the same role as crystals do when all of the beastmen are amassing crystals. They're used as the power source, not necessarily imbued with the spirit of, but they're definitely still the power source. So why anyone thought it was going to be anything but a dragon is very confusing to me.
I'm just
I
saying,
would have
when you
liked for it
have,
not to be a dragon because we just spent a whole expansion
Yeah.
on dragons, and maybe something different would be nice.
when you have dying Alamegans calling out for Rauger, and you're like, psych, we're just summoning a dragon, fuck all y'all, that's just bullshit.
But keep in mind, though, that the next raid that we're getting is completely formed around Omega. And, I guarantee you that Shinryu is going to be one of the final confrontations, if not the last confrontation, depending on if we end up fighting Omega. So we already know where he's going to be used.
At this point, I don't even know. I could see us not even fighting Omega, and instead we just use Omega as the vessel that takes us through the raid to eventually fight Shinryu.
But Omega has something to do with time, right?
Yeah.
We didn't see.
Does it?
Well, we do.
What's the
Omega?
We know that's called the bend of time.
The bend of time.
But they didn't show us anything time related in the scenes
exactly.
that we saw.
That's what I was getting at. Is that even though it's called Omega: The Bend of Time, that there was not anything inherently time related about any of the powers that he showed off.
No, or even Omega in Final Fantasy V, which he is based on. There's no time
No,
aspect.
I think that when the two had their little beam struggle, the resulting explosion caused...
The little Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, caused some type of, spatial distortion. It basically caused, a flash.
Yeah,
They did what the Flash does. It fucking threw them through time, and now we have to fucking find them somehow. Omega Point.
Between Diablos and Dune Skaith and that cutscene, I think Yoshi was watching some DBZ this year.
I mean, are we going to have to... Are we going to end up having to use Alexander as a way to get back in time?
Oh, no, we took out Alexander.
Gotta get back in time. What?
We got rid of Alexander, right? He exists only in that bubble, right?
Back to the raid.
But he's gonna be king of the monsters, man.
How else? But how else would we?
How else would we traverse time?
Yeah. How else would you end up manipulating time?
Or throw down, that'd be down.
We find some new NPC with a MacGuffin.
Find another horde of trebuchet.
God damn it. Yeah. It really is. That's just get a MacGuffin. Put a MacGuffin in there.
Get a MacGuffin.
Time to go to MacGuffins R Us.
Damn
and pick
it.
one up.
Don't worry, I like that joke, Kylo.
I was about to make it.
Anyway, screw it's a dumb theory.
You're a fucking idiot. Go back to calls.
Yeah. Do the calls. Do calls right. Stop fucking everything up and stop making Xfinity disconnect us. That's all your
I
fault.
think that's Trump's and Nero over there.
What?
It's Trump and Nero over there DDoSing us.
No, the person in chat, I think Squirrel's referring to.
Oh.
A Nero's Trump.
Or a Nero's Trump, whatever the fuck.
He doesn't even know, the entirety of his job is to respond to the chat room and to talk to the chat room and to send people along.
Troll? Call us.
Oh my God.
Guess what? Callie's gay. Call us.
You're literally the worst person we've ever had doing this.
Is a Nero a meanie? Call us.
That's genius. We need to throw that in there.
Go be butthurt somewhere else. Bye. Dumb idiot.
So what did everyone think of Hammer Guy? Hammer Guy was great.
Wasn't that the same?
No, that was not the Shield guy.
That was a new guy.
That's right. No, you're right.
Because Shield guy had two shields.
Yeah, you're right.
This guy has one gun shield and one gun hammer.
I'm sorry. I mixed that up because they put Nero's hammer with another guy's
shield.
Another guy. That was his armor too, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, the armor.
Yeah.
There's too much cross-classing. That's not fair. Okay, I want cross-classing too, and you're taking away my cross-class.
Dude, this is why I want to be a Garlean. You get sweet perks.
You know,
everything's a gun. Think about that. Would you want to use a gun fleshlight?
Well, Jesus.
It's a little dark.
Wow, Juxta got really excited over there.
Anyway, all right. Well, I mean, I don't understand what kind of hype that this was supposed
to bring.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
Especially when you compare it back to the last expansion.
I know.
I was like, when we got out of that last patch of the last expansion, I could not wait for the 12 weeks. It was even longer than we had this time around. I think it was like
at
12
the
weeks.
end, you pull one of those. What the fuck, Square Enix? That's it.
That's it.
What the fuck? Like, and here's the thing: all of the stuff that we wanted answers to, we didn't even get answers to when Heaven's Ward dropped.
Right.
I think we got Y'shtola in 4.0, or did we have to wait till 4.1?
3.0.
You mean 3.1?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, 3.0.
I think Y'shtola came back in 3.1. Yeah.
Oh wait, No. She helped us get to
She wasn't
Matoya.
3.0.
Oh, yeah.
So she wasn't 3.0.
Okay, yeah.
But then everybody else, we had to wait till like, what Thancred in like 3.2 or whatever. Like we actually had to wait to get answers. Does anybody want any answers right now?
I want Red
The
Mage.
question is, what is there to answer?
I think only little weebs that can't wait for Samuraiville are super excited
The
about
only
this.
question I have is what happened to Omega, except it's fine because I know the answer. Spatial distortion.
It doesn't even matter what happened to Omega. We know we're gonna fight him in the raid, so we're not gonna get him in the MSQ. He's not gonna appear in there.
Okay, all right. Here's I think a better question. So with all of the setup that we have been given for to set us up for 4.0, what are things that Square Enix could do with everything that they have, with all the pieces that they have set up? What could they do to subvert expectations that would make it good?
Oh,
No,
I don't like
guys.
this train of thought.
No,
I've got one, and I'm just going to make everyone mad when it doesn't happen.
Okay.
I want next month, let's say, I want an event where Garleans attack Gridania. And it just doesn't have to be anything
It's
more
not
than
gonna
just an
happen.
instance duty within Gridania where Garleans preemptively attack it and give me a reason to care about the coming war. It's not going to happen. But you know what? That would actually accomplish something.
this is why this ended the way that it did, okay? Because now going into Stormblood, when they don't gate the content, nobody's missing anything.
What?
I don't follow.
Story jump potions.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Heaven's Ward was, in order to play Heaven's Ward, you have to catch up with the MSQ.
Oh.
You don't have to now. There's no questions that are left unanswered that they can't just set up at the beginning of Stormblood.
Woof.
Jesus, that's stupid. No, because you don't need to know a question to get an answer. All right. If you didn't know, if you didn't know anything about what happened at the end of 2.0 or 2.5.
I'm sorry. Hang on. Here's an even better example. If you didn't even know what happened at the end of 1.0, like enough people bought 2.0 not knowing about anything about Bahamut, not knowing anything about the old
here's thing.
Eorzea.
They tell us, well, first of all, old Eorzea ended, and they told us enough in the cutscene that shows Bahamut, with Answers destroying everything.
Right.
That all right, we get that. If you started playing Raid at Heaven's Ward, not knowing anything about a Realm Reborn, you wouldn't know who any of the Scions are. So you'd be like, why the fuck do I care about this Y'shtola person? What are the references here? Why do I care about Thancred? But everyone's okay in going into Stormblood. Anything that you need to know, like the Shinryu and Omega fight, all they have to be is like, oh yeah, fucking Shinryu and Omega fought and disappeared. Oh, okay. Like, there's no cliffhanger things. There's nothing we're waiting for. There's nothing we need answered. There's no questions. It's like a clean slate going in to fight the Empire.
Yeah, I think that's another point for
Imagine it.
seeing jump potions here pretty shortly.
This could have very easily been just like the end of 14 with one of those open endings where you're like, okay, obviously the world went on, but that was the end of our story. Like you said, Ascalia, as the Warrior of Light, what's compelling you to keep going except the fact that you're the Warrior of Light? This could easily just be like, you know what? The end. And the Warrior of Light continues his adventures.
Straight up, this could have been something like, or even, at the end of the last cutscene, we just kind of quietly bow out in the background and disappear. And, life goes on. Adventures continue in Eorzea. Nothing is left holding our character there outside of our duty towards the Scions, which is not compelling in 2017.
God, fuck you, Kahlo.
Man, even coming off of 2.0 into 3.0, there were you had a ton of questions like what is Ul'dah? What is getting around Ul'dah moving forward going to be like?
What's the Syndicate gonna do?
But all of those questions were ultimately meaningless and didn't have any impact on what the fuck was going on, and I think most people know that. They know not even to ask the questions.
Yeah, but I don't think the answer is just say, well, fuck it, we won't have any questions then. The answer is, how about you make your questions matter in some way? Because that's fair. Ultimately, it was really strong to have you asking those questions. Your people who finished up in 2.55 were ready for Heaven's Ward. And a lot of them, of course, there was lag and drop off in that period of time, but a lot of people stuck around finishing getting their jobs leveled up.
We did an entire show about speculation.
Yes, we did.
We did an entire show of speculation for Heaven's Word, and it looks like most of our speculation is going to be put into the same episode as the Daddy of Light fucking trailer. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like
You're not
when you
wrong.
compare 2.0 to 3.0, which I think that's probably what we'll end up talking about next week. So have that in mind. Think about that.
Postmortem.
Yeah. Think about that. Be ready with calls.
In
Which by the way, now that we dropped Skuro, we're back to taking calls, and we're back live now. We're back to taking calls. So if you want to call the show, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord if you want to call in on Discord. But yeah, no, I my hype levels are so, depressed is a bad word, but they're so much less than they were going into Heaven's Ward.
I think we did an entire episode talking just about the possible fate of the Scions, right? Like, there was so many things, both narratively and, feature-wise, that we were looking forward to in Stormblood. What are we actually looking forward to in Stormblood? Red Mage, Samurai for Nika.
Yep.
Definitely not looking forward to either of the raids. Maybe, I know I'm just setting myself up, but maybe Ivalice if it's like Final Fantasy Tactics
It's
related.
tactic. It is
just
so
to see
good.
how that plays into the world. But other than that, I don't give a shit about anything in Stormblood.
Yeah, I didn't care about anything going into Heaven's Ward until the ending of A Realm Reborn either. Like, the Ishgard area really didn't mean a whole lot to me, having not played very much of 1.0. Like, it was like, oh, cool, we're going north. All right, there's dragons. I guess we'll check that out. But overall, the area didn't mean anything to me. It didn't have any lore connections for me. I wasn't interested in it until I got to the storyline where I'm like, oh shit, I'm a refugee now, and these people are taking me in.
Yeah.
Now I have some interest.
The only thing I'm looking forward to is the initial drop of 4.0 and like the leveling process in the MSQ. Because even looking back on Heaven's Ward, right, 3.0 was great. Didn't really care about any of the patches. They were hit or miss depending on the patch, right?
Yeah, right.
But the initial, 3.0 drop was great.
Yeah, the 2 weeks after launch of Heaven's Ward were one of my favorite times in the game.
So they'll probably hit that. That'll probably be real cool. I mean, we fucking better
that better hit.
get to spend a lot of time with Yugiri, all right? I don't want her to just take us there and be like, all right, I'm going to go, chill with like the faction leaders now. You guys go do your shit, right? So I'm looking forward to seeing what characters who's going to be our Estinian and Ysayle, basically. That's what I'm looking forward to. Who's the new Estinian and who's the new Ysayle? And other than that, I could give a fuck less about Stormblood.
You don't think it's going to be Yugiri and Gosetsu? Like, I just named them.
And Lise and
you go.
the other guy.
Obviously,
that's in that big poster.
Obviously, the Scions will be there. Yes. I hope it's not. I mean, Yugiri's a cool one. I hope it's not Gosetsu. He's so annoying.
He really is.
I can only make Reinhardt jokes for so long.
He really is. The thing is that it was exactly what I was expecting out of a samurai character. And look, I know. Listen, I need to know if we're being too cynical about this. Like, I understand that
Someone
there
give
are
us
people.
hope.
Look, if you're hyped about this, okay, we want maybe some of your hype to rub off on us because
yes, please,
because that's happened before. We've got people who've called the show before that have reframed something and have made us think differently about it. And I think all of us are kind of like at this point where we're like, we want to be on the hype train, but Diadem 2.0 was a huge letdown. I feel like 3.56, especially when you compare it up to 2.55, was just a huge fucking letdown. You know what I mean? Like, they
even had an extra piece of patch.
I know.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, they just cut one piece in half, let's be honest.
It really is kind of depressing. Like,
But you're right, people have gotten us there before. We weren't excited for anything in the game, and then someone called up and said, hey, did you guys hear about that Palace of the Dead thing, though? That looks pretty cool, and got us talking about that, and suddenly we were excited for it.
Right.
It happens.
Yeah.
But I came out of that last patch not caring about Stormblood. I don't care. Nothing makes me want to go into this war. I really kind of just want to be like, let them take over. I'll be a Garlean subject, whatever. You don't think they want to have a Warrior of Light on their side? They probably think that's sweet. We keep ruining all their plans. Maybe we'll be on their side. They'll be thrilled.
You know what's super funny? And hopefully none of my players are listening because this might spoil it for them otherwise. But in my D&D, I eventually had a subplot that I was going to play out where you find out that the reason that LBR died in my realm or were attacked was because Ascalia sold them out to the Garleans.
Art imitates life.
Look at that.
Lols.
But no, I
Son of a bitch.
I need to know, are we being too cynical about this? Because all of us love this game. I mean, Juxta, here, let me throw this to you because I think that you're in a bit of a position, sort of like I was,
a juxtaposition.
where I felt like my sentiment going into Heavensward was maybe a little bit higher than other folks because I had Dark Knight, and I was so hyped for Dark Knight. Now, you have Red Mage. Obviously, Red Mage has been your long-time passion job.
Mm-hmm.
So even having Red Mage coming with Stormblood, are you even able to ramp up your hype thrusters?
I am hyped for Red Mage. I mean, and really the only reason I'm hyped for Red Mage, if I was like on the Samurai bandwagon, I would be like in a shitty position because all melee are basically the same job with their 1, 2, 3 combos. Casters are a little bit different, so I have hype for that and I have hope for that. I have a little bit more hope than what I probably should for the storyline because in Heavensward you had the Dragon Song War, which was like the big overarching plot,
Right.
and that couldn't fill Heavensward. There just wasn't enough to do it, as
Right.
evidenced by 3.2 and all that shitty filler patches. So what I'm hoping they're doing with Stormblood is now they have 2 big major story arcs with Alamigo and Doma. So I'm hoping with the combined story between both of them, we actually have big, meaty patches with story.
Except this
Shut
is
the
what's
fuck
gonna
up.
happen.
Don't ruin it.
Patch 4.1, Doma stuff. Patch next, Alamigan stuff. Oh, now let's go back to Doma this time.
You know
And
what?
it's going to flip-flop back and forth. Very similar to how Heavensward was like, all right, now we're going to do Dragon Song War, and now this patch is going to be about the Warriors of Darkness, and now this patch is going to go over here, and we're going to talk about Nidhogg, and now this patch is going to be something completely different, and we're going to wrap up each of these storylines very minimally one at a time.
Except that's not how Heavensward happened. If you remember, we had 3.1 was Dragon Song War, 3.2 was filler, 3.3 was Dragon Song War, and then 3.4 was wrapping up Warriors of Darkness in one fucking patch. They teased Warriors of Darkness for one horrible cutscene each time, but there was absolutely nothing on Warriors of Darkness until their
but that's
patch.
my
What a
point.
ter-
they
what a terrible-
can't tell simultaneous stories at the same time. They don't know how to weave those threads together.
Right, they tried to do it in 3.0 with bouncing back and forth between what was going on in Ishgard and wrapping up Ul'dah. But
wrapping
here's
up Ul'dah. You call, hey, the Sultana's alive as wrapping up Ul'dah.
Well, no, but
that's what they were trying to do.
establishing the Alamigan resistance conflict, and there was stuff that they were setting up, but I think that maybe they took some of our criticism that they were spread a little bit narratively too thin from 2.0. I think they took that a little bit too much to heart, because you're right, we just got the Warriors of Darkness teased, and then they had their patch, and then they went bye-bye, and they had no real lasting impact on the story, the narrative, or anything moving forward.
I'd prefer a Netflix
Honestly,
series
when you
about the
when
Warriors
you
of
look
Darkness.
back at the Warriors of Darkness storyline right now, what did that give us? What did that get us? Like,
Has anyone actually noticed that? I don't know if you guys realize, but me and Ophelia has been gone for a while. Has anyone actually noticed her absence in any way?
No,
because she
kind of.
wasn't in Heavensward to begin with. It was Elfinode.
No. I mean, I haven't marked her absence
I have
that
felt
much.
I did feel her absence because I would go whenever MSQ would pop up, I'd go back to the Rising Stones and I'd be like, gotta go talk to Minfilia. Oh wait, who do I talk to? Oh, this person.
That's
I
just
talked to
ukulele
Katara,
there.
That's
I guess.
just your boner.
Okay,
I know.
so guys,
she's my waifu.
Skuro's recent attempt to get people to call us. He links Discord and says, if you're a butt slut.
Oh, that's because after his post, someone asked, "What if I want to call on Discord?" He's like, "Fuck you guys."
Anyway,
He hasn't been advertising the Discord?
I don't know.
anyway,
Jesus Christ, Skuro.
let's take a call on Discord and talk to Keta. What's up, Keta?
Nothing much. Waiting 11 weeks for content.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, same here.
You and me both. I apologize for not sharing what server you're from because I was not given that information by our dumb fuck call screener. So, anyway, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. What do you want to talk about, Keta?
Well, basically the half hour of content we got. So,
That's pretty
accurate. Yeah, okay.
I mean, we have been talking about that for about the last 30 minutes.
Yeah,
30 minutes of content, 30 minutes of running.
Yeah. What did you think? Like, what were you satisfied with it? What did it make you feel?
Looking on it on its own, meh.
Yeah.
I mean, how about as a culmination of the entire expansion? I mean, this is what the entirety of 3.0 is building to.
Oh, awful. Compared to 2.55, yeah, what do we have to look forward for?
You know, Juxta made reference earlier about how he just had what was it, that your little explosion is more just like a wet trickle.
Yeah.
I think that's a metaphor for how 3 ended.
Yeah.
This really did feel like the ending of a patch, not the end of an expansion. And if not even the end of a good patch, the ending of a patch, you're like, ugh, all right,
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, it is ending a patch.
Now
go to hell.
Now we have to just wait 11 weeks.
Did you have a favorite moment from the patch? Like from the story? Like, was there anything you could grasp on and be like, you know what, at least that was worth it?
Anytime Nero opened his mouth.
Really? Oh, Nero is so annoying to me now.
I like him.
Yeah.
Nero
Well,
wasn't
you're
terrible.
a Garlean sympathizer, so your opinion doesn't count.
That's
but
true.
No,
I also
I like
really
his character. He's kind of like a. You know what? I want to see a good cop, bad cop, buddy cop movie with Sid and Nero.
I would watch that.
I mean, okay.
Can we get that on Netflix instead of Daddy of Light, Square Enix?
Obviously, he served the purpose that he had. That's fine. But it's just like, oh, big thing in the sky. What's going to happen? Nero. Haha! Omega! Like, just everything about it was so predictable.
Yeah.
I think that was probably another one of the big problems of the patch is we called everything.
Like, I sort of feel like there was also this massive logic hit that the storyline took, where it was like, well, clearly if Omega's restrained now, we can restrain him in the future. Oh, but wait, it's mostly this autonomous, automated thing that we don't have to pilot or control, but it's still got restraints on it. Like,
it also makes it seem kind of weird that we're eventually going to have to fight this thing as part of a raid.
I wanted to
Wait,
be like,
we can't just turn it off again?
I wanted to be like, excuse me, Council of the Eorzean Alliances, have you not seen Terminator? Have you not played Metal Gear Solid?
oh my God,
Did
it's
you not
it's
like-
FF14 Skynet.
Pretty much.
Dude, that'd be awesome. Starts blowing up Aethernets all over the place.
Starts taking over all of the Magitech.
You know, the problem in Horizon was that the machines were autonomous and that they could self-refuel themselves with biomass. Great.
Wow.
So Omega's basically just going to destroy the world, and there's nothing we can do to stop it.
That would actually be like really interesting if something like that went wrong with Magitech and suddenly like the Garlean opposition just stops one day and then we go up there and like everyone's dead. And we're just like, well, what happened here?
terminated themselves.
So, Kata, are we being too cynical, or do you think that 3.56 is just not doing the job to drum up the hype for Stormblood?
I think on the one hand you're a bit cynical, but they haven't given us a reason to get as much hype as we had for 3.0. They haven't. The ending is disappointing. They've made a few logic jumps. Like, I had no idea who the fuck Liz is.
Lease.
Like you're going to lease out a new truck.
Yeah, right.
Like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Shinru, I not to defend Skuro, but if they
God.
if they took a dragon, why not Nidhogg? Why not Bahamut? Why something more Eastern? But yeah.
No, again,
Because I think it's because Square Enix just has no idea what they're doing.
Right,
anymore.
and all they did again was likened it to Mid-Eastern. That isn't necessarily the fact that we've labeled it as a Mid-Eastern dragon.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
No, I think just by virtue that it has its name doesn't mean that it is literally the Eastern Dragon. But what he was saying is that, it kind of looked a little bit like that one.
Which now also obviously links us into Stormblood because we are going to the Far East.
Right.
So, Kata, yes, we are being cynical, but I guess our question is, would you say our cynicism is justified, YN?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, cool.
That's what I was curious about.
Thanks for the call, Keta. We appreciate it. If you want to call Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We did talk about Lise and Yida and that big reveal. Oh, gosh, my sounds are off.
What you doing there, Nero?
Am I a little bit over this conversation? Just a little.
So here's something interesting. Infinity Fox says that apparently the pre-order page says you do need to play 3.0 to get into Stormblood content.
I think that's horseshit, man. I still think that this is
No. That's true, because you have to get from level 50 to level 60 to get into Stormblood content, right?
Yeah.
You have to
Okay, yeah.
You need Stormblood, or you need Heavensward to level up to... What level are we?
60.
To
60?
So you can get to 60 to 70 for Stormblood. That's true.
Okay.
But they're not releasing the jump potions along with Stormblood.
But that only takes you to 50.
Right.
But you still need Heavensward to jump that high.
So then, my fucking theory about they're like, oh, well, since we're just going to jump people right to Stormblood anyway, like, what? Square Enix! I hate you so much.
It really is frustrating. But again, going back, we did talk about the Yida Lise reveal. Most of that was in the downtime that unfortunately we had been Comcasted. But yeah, just something to just something to keep in mind about that Yida Lise reveal. First of all, is that it was bad.
That's super bad.
It's not great.
And that second of all, we don't. I think it's unclear, at least at this point, or up for debate, whether or not we actually got to know the original Yida in the 1.0 storyline. Now, if they did do that, if that was the case, if that was the big reveal behind Yida Lise, is that we used to know the old Yida, and that in the time that we were gone, that Louis Swat had fast forwarded us 5 years, that in that time the real Yida had died, quote unquote died, and that that Lise had come in and taken her place.
Because the Scions weren't fast forwarded, just the Warriors of Light were.
Right.
So Yida
They
would
still
have,
had all of that time.
Lise would have aged 5-6 years and maybe
Right.
look no different to us, especially because she has her mask on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And there was, and I think that there was a big kind of character shift in Yida between 1.0 and 2.0.
Kind of makes you want to go back and kind of really like analyze the differences between the characters, doesn't it?
It does. It
Let's just
does.
start a new
That
1.6.
is. I just wanted to say, but that's literally the only thing that I am holding on to.
That's the one thing you're looking
That's
forward
like
to in
the one
Stormblood.
thing that I'm curious about. The other possibility that we had talked about that I kind of rolled my eyes at. I think that if it turns out that Xenos is actually the original Yida, if that turns out to be true, and it also turns out that we knew the original Yida, that hooks me back in big time.
Especially
that is
because-
hugely compelling.
Especially because we haven't really had a chance to see a Yida, at least whatever, without Pop Limo tying her down, right? So this really gives Square Enix a chance to do something very interesting and compelling and meaningful with her character.
God, and just a truly badass female villain. Yes, please. Could we get one of those?
Yeah.
We had Nail.
Because I mean, like everyone is assuming. Well, I'm funny, but everyone is kind of assuming that that Xenos is male. That is a very sort of like male name, I guess, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But the thing is that when you see that very little bit of the face inside of the mask, all you catch is the smile.
Yeah, it
you
could
don't
be.
really see any of the features. It is pretty androgynous. It could go either way if that was male or female, and I'm kind of curious on the shot framing how much of the neck you end up seeing, because I mean, dude, we focus so much on that neck tattoo, and having it just fade away like that was incredibly, I think, disappointing. I think that if you had to encapsulate the disappointment of this patch, that tattoo dissipating in this sort of like meaningless MacGuffin way, it's sort of like can be a metaphor for the disappointment of 3.56 overall. But the thing is, though, is that if that tattoo later has some meaning for
If they-
in
if they
the
bring back-
Xenos Yida connection.
Yeah, if they bring back it, and all right, see, that might make it a little bit like okay.
Yeah.
That maybe.
See, but at the same time, I feel like I'm clutching at straws, though. How many
Yeah.
times have we done this? How many times have we
Wrote
gone
a
like?
way better story than Square Enix
Yes,
has.
but how many? Well, how many times have we seen what they've done and gone, man, if you just changed it, or man, if this execution, if in the long, like long con type of way, they execute it like this, that it could be good. And how many times does that happen? Like almost fucking never.
I feel like I want to write an alternate reality FF like story where it's like this is what should have happened and it would just be so much better.
All the bros would be dead.
Let's go back to our phone lines and talk to Meter Man. What's up, Meter Man?
Hey guys, and don't blame Skuro. I didn't surrender my my server name, but I'm from Cactuar. Don't blame him. He's been great.
Don't lie.
We're going to
Don't-
blame him,
Meter
and you
Man,
know
don't lie on
I was
Skuro's
gonna say,
behalf.
do you want to have your call dropped? Because this is how you get your
I-
call dropped.
Yeah, be careful.
Okay, well, drop me, but I was going to donate my boob donation to have Skuro.
What? Whoa, what was that? Oh, you got. No, I'm kidding. I didn't drop you. I just muted you.
Okay.
No,
Well, you're unmuted
you're
now.
unmuted now, dingus.
Okay, that's
All right.
fine with me. I
Okay.
don't
Well, what
mind.
what the
Just
fuck
go.
do
I
you
can't
want to
do
talk
anything.
about, Meter Man? Let's go.
Okay.
You're on the
okay.
meter here, man.
I know. I am super scared of 4.0 now because this did not encapsulate me wanting to play 4.0. Other than the fact that we've got new battle system changes coming, we got a couple of new jobs. I don't see that's worth $40. I don't see it.
40, isn't it going to be
I'm-
60?
Ooh.
Or $60, whatever. I don't care.
I mean, it should.
It's not worth that amount of money just for, hey, a couple things are fighting. I don't know what the hell they are, and yeah, we get a reveal, and yeah, but there's nothing for me as a player to say, you know what, I can't wait for the next part of the story because it's like, we're just going to get more story dumped on us. It's almost like they got too much money and too much time, and they're going to squander it.
Square Enix has one last chance, I think, to hype me for this because we've already even seen the opening trailer, right? Which was kind of a letdown. So the only way that they're going to be able to pull me back in is if they cut some type of new, like, cinematic promotional trailer type thing, right?
Yeah.
That they put Revolutions by Susan Calloway over top of. That's it. That's the last card up your sleeve, Square Enix, is you have to hope that Susan and her song can bring me back into this.
Now, look, I think that Square Enix has really kind of come up with a couple of problems here because, like, I'm confused. How is it that I was more hyped for an expansion in a land that we had already seen like 30% of? We were already very familiar with sections of Korthus that we were going to see. We already knew, we had been looking at Ishgard for fucking 4 years previous to that. Like, this is, it's insane that we're now pushing out beyond the borders of what we know, and I'm like 1,000,000% less hype for it. There's something broken there. There's something like not right about that.
Well, I think part of that's your dislike of the aesthetic.
Yeah,
you
you
love that
hate-
medieval aesthetic.
No,
that is straight up your alley.
honestly, what it is, it's at least for me, it's the whole narrative. The reason that we were excited, or at least that I was excited for Heaven's Ward, was because of every expectation that was set up through the storyline,
Right.
through the narrative. Did I give
Yeah.
a fuck about Astrologian? Did I give a fuck about Dark Knight? I was kind of maybe interested in Machinists, but fuck them. And the whole drab, like, oh, fucking snowy dragon place? No, nothing about the aesthetic drew me in, okay? So I'm as excited about Stormblood's aesthetic as I was about Heaven's Ward look, but it was all about the narrative, and there is no narrative ties that make me want to play Stormblood except some theories that we've came up with
Right.
that maybe they'll use, but probably not.
Meter Man, how about you? Is the narrative a reason that you're keeping with this, or like what's going to be the nail in the coffin for you?
Well, I mean, number one, I'm not going anywhere else. I don't find any other MMO right now that is drawing me in. I mean, I've already accomplished so much just to run off and start a level 1 at nothing. I mean, with another MMO does not seem appetizing. So I'm going to probably stay with it. But
that's
I'm
what
looking at
Yoshi
it
P
going,
wants you to do, though. Yoshi P has
I
been
know.
really explicit in like, hey, if you don't like what the fuck we're bringing to the table, go play another game. And I mean,
Right.
like, so you don't feel compelled to go spend your time elsewhere after the 35th day in a row that you're logging in doing the same.
Cap and tomes.
Yeah, like it just seems very monotonous at this point.
Double the cap.
No, this last week I didn't cap tomes. I didn't even get close. I might have even got 90 freaking tomes. That's all. Because I went in and did the story, was underwhelmed, and then I just kind of turned it off for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Plus, also, there's just other things going on in my life. But I am not. I'm all for Yoshi saying, "Hey, if you don't like our content, go play something else. As long as you stay sub, he doesn't care." And if you unsub, he just wants you to come back. And there's always promotions to get people to come back. I mean, just think of the free-to-play crap. They want the free-to-players to come back so they can influence them to pay for the full game. So nothing's changed on that front. But in my case, yeah, I'm going to get, 5 or 10 more levels. I'm going to get a couple of new jobs that'll be interesting and unique to play. I am not looking forward to the Evilise crap. I mean, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, okay, you've had your crossovers with Crystal Tower and other places, but I didn't look at it from the crossovers perspective. I was like, what did you add to the story? And reality, now that we're later on, we actually see, oh, yeah, that's, if you didn't play the Crystal Towers type stuff, you didn't understand that little jibe between you and Nero
Right.
and why y'all were so little pissy.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
geez, Meter Man, you're not making me want to hype up for Stormblood. You're making me question whether I want to spend $60 on it.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, is that for as cynical as we are, I think that there's a significant portion of the community that's
Yeah.
right there with us.
Like we have so many people in the chat being like, "Oh, you're too entitled. Oh, stop playing the game." How do you explain? Like, all right, fine. We've actually said that maybe we're too jaded. Maybe we're being too cynical. Call in and reel us back in, and every caller so far that has or that's called in has agreed with us.
So come on, Azuma Kuma, put your money where your mouth is, and call the fuck in and give us some hype.
Yeah,
give us
that's
some
the thing.
hope here.
Don't just call in and criticize us because we realize we're being shitty. We know that. Why don't you call in and tell us what excites you?
Yeah.
Why are you excited for Stormblood?
Because
are you more hyped than you were for Heaven's Ward?
Because if you call up and tell us that we should just be crafting, we're going to savage you. But if you can actually give us a good point as to why we should be hyped, like the thing is that we're giving very clear narrative reasons, very clear gameplay reasons why we're not hyped. So we're going to expect the same from you. Give us some narrative setup that we're overlooking or that we've missed or that you think we're off base on. Give us some hope for the Evilise raid. Give us some hope for the Omega raid. Give us a little bit of hope. Tell us why you're excited for the new dungeons or swimming or any of the stupid bullshit that they're trying to pass off as like, oh, here's new stuff that you can expect. No, it's the same repackaged stuff that we've already been getting that no one is terribly happy with. So, and the thing is that if people were happy with it, more people would be logging in. You would have a healthier game environment. You would have a healthier community. We don't have any of those things. Nope. None of those. Objectively, when you look at the amount of people logging in, objectively, when you look at the amount of people saying that they're having fun, when you look at the sentiment surrounding this game on Reddit, on any number, on any social media platform, it's not positive.
Yeah, so instead...
And so much of an MMO relies not just on your subscriber base, but the sentiment of that subscriber base and how much they're willing to float you for 11 fucking weeks with their monthly subscription.
And instead, they all just shitpost in the chat about, we'll give you more to talk about. We have to listen to you complain. So you proved our point.
Exactly.
Basically. That's That's what you've done.
Yeah, because here's the thing, dumb shits. We've got 171 people listening to us complain right now. We've got 25,000 people that still download this podcast every fucking week. It doesn't like if you think like, oh, I just want to listen to you complain more. Well, yeah, you and fucking 30,000 other people.
Else.
What do you think? Like, the people have stopped listening to the show because they suddenly found out that we're not as hyped on Stormblood as we were 4 months ago? We were never really on the Stormblood train to begin with. Somebody get us on. Square Enix, get us the fuck on. That's your job. That's your job, and you're failing at it. Like, that's the thing to me, is all of these little Square Enix apologists and Yoshi P apologists come out of the woodwork and want to try to spin some kind of bullshit about why we're the bad guys for not being excited, when we're just on 70% of the community's sentiment, and we're the only ones that have the balls to say it. Other shows won't even bother to say it. They're going to try to drum up all the positives because guess what? They think their bottom line is determined by the success or failure of this fucking game.
All right, here.
Which, in reality, their bottom line isn't determined by the success or failure of this game because they don't have a bottom line yet.
All right, Azuma and MRUA, no, I don't want you guys to call up and convince us. I don't want you to call up and give us a reason to play, okay? Azuma, you're saying the stuff appeals to you. All I want you to do is tell us why it appeals to you.
Yeah.
You don't even have to convince us. Just call up and give me an opinion, okay? That's all I want. Just give me an opinion. I like this because... and then fill in the blank, okay? You can say we're just sitting here shitting all over it, but we've been drawing parallels to 2.55, which we liked. We told you why we liked it. We told you what it accomplished, how it made us feel. We gave you reasons, just like we're giving you reasons why we don't like what we've been seeing. So cool, you like it. Great, I believe you. Why?
And this is all
know what we're yelling about.
And this is all subjective. It's always been subjective. It's all opinion.
This isn't right or wrong. Just tell us why you like it.
Yeah, it's so funny because so many people who tune in and they throw a fit like that. They go, "Oh, well, you're spreading misinformation about the game." Well, no, actually we're not. We're expressing our sentiment about the game. That's not information. That's an opinion. And sorry you don't like the opinion, but that's not why 170 people tune into the show. That's not why 25,000 people download this show. They don't want to be lied to. And if we started lying to them, guess where our numbers would be? They would be a lot less than what we're currently pulling in now. Because people, our audience trusts us with, trusts us to know what the fuck we're talking about. And to come out here and to not lie and to not go, well, Square Enix is the greatest thing that's ever happened. Listen, wipe Yoshi P's cock smell out of your asshole for a second and just realize the fact that the majority of people who are paying the sub for this game are not happy with it. A lot of them are calling the show to express it. 4 of them sit behind these microphones every fucking week. Whether you want to put us as the standard bearer for FF14's community or not, that doesn't matter. We reject that title. We've always rejected that title. But the people who listen to us and the people that support this show financially or just with their ears, they know that every time we open this mic, that every time we come on this show, we're going to give them what our actual opinion is, not what we think is going to be the most palatable to the most listeners. That's what other channels do. That's what other shows do. And they do that to try to either save face or to try to save the game that they think that they're attached to. We've done that once already. And it's not fun, it's not satisfying, and it's not the show that we wanted to build. So, you know what? If you think that, okay, that's fine, that the content is engaging for you, yeah, okay, fine. Justify it a little bit more. Go the extra step. Give us an actual reason why. Because we have outlined plenty of reasons that we're dissatisfied. We have given you plenty of examples of ways that not just Square Enix, but other companies have done this better. And in the end, if Square Enix wanted to take anything that we said seriously on the show, because we know that they don't, they could end up seeing a better product because of it. Not because we're some sort of fucking game-building geniuses, but because they would be listening to and measuring the sentiment of their strongest defenders. Their strongest, the strongest parts of their audience. The people who are most engaged with FF14 are the people who will listen to this show, or really any other FF14 podcast. If you're involved enough, if you're engaged enough to go out and seek a talk show out about the game that you're playing, about the MMO that you're playing, that says to me that you're really engaged and you're really committed to the product. And that those are the people that Square Enix should be paying attention to. Not these whiny little cocksuckers on forums going, oh, this content's too hard. Steps of Faith is too hard.
All right, here's a real reason. Marin V from the chat says they can't call in, but one of the redeeming factors of Stormblood for them is that they're excited that the whole overall narrative is finally being turned back around to Garlemald as the threat.
And you know what? I'll
That's
give
fair.
you that one. That's
fair.
totally valid, because Garlemald has sort of been taken a back seat ever since the transition from 1.0 to 2.0. Ever since we dispatched Van Darnus.
Yep.
You know, it really, Garlemald really hasn't played that much of a role.
Ever since we met that new emperor, and it's like, haha, I'm here in the Sea of Clouds.
Right, yeah.
I'm gone.
Well, you're right.
Not to mention even Hydrus, right?
Yeah.
He was cool. Some of the stronger characters from Heavensward have been Garleans. So no, Marin V, absolutely right. That is one of the reasons to look forward to. Now, given the direction they've been taking some of the narrative, I don't know that they're going to do it effectively.
See, but that point makes me just kind of want to go, okay, well, then I'll skip Stormblood and I'll come back into the Garlemald expansion that comes next.
And that just goes back to what I was saying earlier, is when's the last time the Garleans did something that would make me angry with them? I'm excited to see more
All
of
right,
it.
Garlean sympathizer.
I know.
Well, and that's the thing is, from everything that we've heard from Yoshi P, Xenos is supposed to be that villain.
He's gonna be a bastard, yeah.
Yeah, he's really, he's really supposed to get under our skin.
Their gender.
I did.
She is going to be a great villain.
Drea brings up a good point, too. She says that she's probably more excited about Stormblood than excited.
Curious.
Curious, because there's no expectation. She says, don't get me wrong, the lack of excitement at the end is a bummer, but this is the first time that we really know nothing about what's going to happen, and maybe people are disenchanted because there isn't much concrete things to go on.
First of all, I don't think that if that's what they're doing, that's the best way to carry a narrative over in between expansions.
I do agree as well.
If that's what they're doing, I don't think that's what they're doing, because there is setup for things. There is setup for the Omega confrontation. There is setup for Alamigo. There is setup even for on a character building basis for Yida and Lise. So you do have some setup that is happening there, but the thing is that none of it is as satisfying as what was set up in 2.5. That's, I think, really what we're getting to, is that 2.55 really got us ready for the next expansion in a big way, and drummed up a lot of excitement in a big way that Heavensward just isn't. And the thing is, again, I'm totally willing to cop to that. It just might be me and my own cynicism surrounding, Weeby McWeeberton, that just might be me. But it's not just me, is the point, is that we've heard from caller after caller that, they're also concerned about, Meterman just talking about how concerned they were for 4.0. We see a lot of people in the chat that are very concerned with the direction that Stormblood is going to be taking, and you just don't see the amount of people engaged in FF14 that you used to. You're not seeing the amount of people logged on. You're not seeing the amount of people engaging in any kind of activities, whether they be through Duty Finder, Party Finder, or the cross-server Raid Finder. None of that shit is popping.
Yep.
Well,
all right, again, I have to call him out. Because, again, he's not even doing what we're asking or trying to. Azuma, We don't even. All right, look. You don't even
Say what he said. Say what he said. Give him context.
You read what he says. He says, can't call in, but I don't think SE is the problem. I think if you're unhappy, then maybe you're too entitled. When you have your own IP, you can direct it in the way you want, but for now it's SE's property and Yoshi P's direction. That's fine. We fucking get that. Azuma, you're hyped for Stormblood? If the answer is yes, I want you to type out. Type out. Why are you hyped?
No, the only response that he's going to have is that you're entitled for even questioning his hype. You're entitled.
What was your favorite part of Stormblood?
Kahlo, shut up.
Come on.
No, shut the fuck up, Kahlo. You're entitled.
Fuck.
Kahlo, you're clearly entitled. You want something that is impossible for Square Enix to achieve, even though they achieved it just one expansion ago. You're just setting out the impossible.
Yeah.
It's Yoshi P's game. It's Square Enix's game. They get to run it how they want.
They're running it into the ground.
But that's what they want.
No. You don't get to have an opinion because...
I need to check my privilege.
Because, yeah. No. You're entitled. You're entitled. You have been put in a place of privilege because of your position on this show.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
You've been put in a place of privilege, and so I totally understand.
Does this not make me a community leader? As a community figure, do I not get to make these demands and these assertions? But I think I have more of a place to make these assertions than Azuma does because I'm in a place of power.
That's right.
Excuse you. You are a community figure, so you need to represent the community and make a safe environment for everyone to enjoy.
Exactly. See, here's the thing: is that you're not the mouthpiece for Azuma. You're not stating every single opinion that they hold and how they hold it, and so that makes you entitled.
You're
Kahlo,
right.
That makes you entitled.
You're right. You are absolutely right. So, Azuma, give me one of your opinions, and I will champion that cause.
There you
Give
go.
me an opinion, and I will champion it.
There you go.
Kahlo Landis is your champion.
Yoshi P's dick tastes like Skittles. That's what your opinion is.
What kind?
He has to say that, though.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
What kind
Hopefully
of
not the
Skittles?
sour Skittles.
Oh, I love the sour Skittles.
No,
Yeah, but not coming
what
out
about
someone's
the
dick.
tropical
No.
ones?
The berry flavored Skittles.
those are
yeah,
bad.
the wild.
Those are so bad.
the wild berry.
That's gross.
Not
Okay,
just
you know
not just
what?
berry. Wild.
Notorious BLT brings up what I'm most excited for about Stormblood because this never lets us down. The music, the soundtrack.
That's true.
That's
Soken
fair.
always fucking delivers.
So yeah, no matter what, even if I don't buy Stormblood,
I'll buy the soundtrack too.
I will buy.
Yeah,
I
you're
am
right.
buying Stormblood. I know it's.
If I check out a Stormblood at 4.0, I'll still get the soundtrack.
Yeah, I'm absolutely still buying the soundtrack, hands down, no questions asked, because you know that it's going to be good. Let's go back to our phone lines and talk to Take from the Ferry server. What's up, Take?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Of course, yeah. What's up?
Where do I start? Okay,
From the
gents,
beginning.
Sit back, just buckle up. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Okay.
With your bird?
I was gonna
Okay,
say whatever that is, lube it up.
Okay, Square Enix, if you can hear me, and I know you're in chat somewhere, this is a narrative I just came up with, which you can have for free. Kill the Scions.
Yes.
Kill most of them.
I think that
The narrative.
they missed that
No,
opportunity, though. I think that they
No,
did. Like they had the opportunity to kill them
In
off, and they
4.0,
just missed
I
it.
don't know how. Kill Elfinord. Kill, I don't know, Yustola. Kill half of them. I mean, Elise can take over. I mean, just make a really good narrative. I mean, as much as we like the gameplay and the raids, the narrative is what keeps us going. And the narrative has to be really good. And, I mean, fucking Yoshi P, get your head out of your ass. Make a really, really good story in 4.0. Don't just give it to the casuals. Fuck the casuals.
No,
And
I
also,
think.
Also, I have a criticism for you guys. I think you guys are just being not cynical enough.
You hear that?
Whoa!
Yo, hang on. Just a second, Take.
Can we get a drop of that?
I just want to hang on this point for just a second.
You must add more
You
salt?
hear that, Azuma, or whatever the fuck your stupid name is? You hear that, Azuma? We're not being cynical enough. And I also like that vulgarity isn't a fucking substitute for fucking humor. Go fuck yourself. That it's not a fucking substitute for humor.
You're right.
I don't think he knows what the fuck he's fucking
It's
talking
not a
fucking about.
substitute for humor. It is humor.
It is. That's right.
Now, I know people are probably going to go and say, "Fuck this guy. He has no right to say that."
They're already saying it.
I've done every single content in this game, everything, Savage, everything. I have an opinion, and much more better than most of you in chat, that this game is fucked.
Oh yeah.
Unless they,
Hold on.
Unless they make it better in 4.0.
I have a test. I have a test. You've done every content in this game.
How many Lords of Reminion tournaments have you
show
won?
me the penguin you got from Lords of Reminion.
That's not content.
Called you out.
But he's not wrong. That's not content.
No. But here's the thing. But under that reductive logic, you can't have opinions about anything because you haven't experienced everything.
Ooh, I totally burned you.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
No, but look, and you know what? You bring up a great point. That like there's that whole fallacy that like, oh well, you guys aren't really engaged with the game, so therefore your opinions don't matter, and that really is just a convenient way to sidestep somebody's actual point that they're making. Like all Azuma really shot back with was, well, everything that they're developing seems really interesting to me. Well, that's nice. Have you not been playing this game for 2 fucking years? Because guess what? This is already the shit that we've been playing for 2 years. So if there are some of us here that aren't as enthused about it as you are, having 6 months under your belt, then that's probably why, because it's the same shit over and over again. I don't understand how, if you've been playing this game for for long enough, or as long as we have, how you could look at this same treadmill of content that they have coming out, that they're going to trot out here in a couple of months, and go, yeah, this is acceptable. I don't understand, dude.
Yeah. I also have a few predictions for what 4.0 might bring.
Okay.
I think we're going to have Bahamut 4.0. So it's going to be a reskinned Coil. And Omega is just going to be a trash mob in the 24-man.
Oh my god!
If they did that, I'd actually be kind of into that.
Wait, Ivalice is going to be the 24-man, right?
No. And also, everyone at the start of the expansion will get their max level relics, and weight tier weapons will be redundant.
Will you write story episodes for us?
Hang on.
Well, you write our outlines
so
for us?
just to clarify though, with your prediction on the relic weapon, what you're saying is that we would have the ability to enhance it to its max level all the way right out of the
No. It's gonna be in the main story quest, and we'll get it straight away. It's gonna be fully upgraded. No work needed, because you know what?
No, that's stupid.
Just give it to the casuals. I mean, that's the direction. That's the direction Yoshi P is going with.
I understand why you would say. Look, I understand what the decisions in this game have been, especially during Heavensward, that would lead you to that conclusion. But the thing is I think that Yoshi P's, look, he's not a dumb person, and he's made some bad decisions, but he hasn't made like catastrophically bad decisions, which is why he's still in the position that he's in. So the fact that he's not making catastrophically stupid decisions, to me, says that they may actually be able to address some of the problems with the relic weapon for in the 4.0 stage. If it's just a gimme, if it's just a thing that you get through completing the MSQ, I don't see that, dude. I don't see that at all. I think what they need to do, especially with the relic weapon, is they need to make it upgradable to its max level right out of the gate. It
should take you like forever to do it.
Yeah, like the amount of ass grind that you're gonna have to do is gonna be fucking ridiculous.
That way, butt stunts with it.
That way, yeah, exactly. That way, you get these sort of like OCD P1 players back into the pool that are playing obsessively and poop socking to be able to get their ultimate weapon right out of the gate, and then they'll check out for 6 months. That's what I think would lend Square Enix, that would actually get them a little bit more sub money. That would get them subs for a longer period of time. Because of course there's going to be those people who go half the distance and then they can't pull the trigger on canceling their sub because what if I find the free time to go back and poop sock the other half? It is legitimately one of the smarter ways to organize your content right out of the gate so that you're hitting people and keeping them subbed for longer.
Man, I really hope they do that. I really hope they just make enough content to keep us going the entire time. I mean, it's not okay for Yoshi to go and say, if you got nothing to do in game, go play another game. How can you say that? You're a developer. You should be constantly thinking of making your game, keeping your subs engaged in the game, not just saying, okay, just play for 2 months and then go and play something else.
Right. Well, and they've also stated that they're going to attach the next relic weapon to Eureka as well. So, I
3.0.
Yeah, I honestly think like if you make it a ridiculous grind, a ridiculous ass grind, and you're also shoving people into Eureka, I think that might be the smart way to do it. But the thing is that it's got to have that reward there. You've got to dangle out that reward there, and I think that having your ultimate, like you're working on your ultimate weapon, and instead of releasing the next stage of the weapon with a patch, that you're just easing the requirements as patches go on and progress, so that by the end of it, all of the stages are much more reasonable as opposed to this crazy ass grind that you've got to do. I think that that's a much smarter way to do it. And other MMOs have done this in the past, and it's been incredibly successful for them. So I don't know why Square Enix continues to do it piecemeal with every patch getting a different, getting another minor upgrade to your final weapon. Thanks for the call, Take. We appreciate it. If you want to call Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We have got just a couple of minutes left in the show. We'll take, we're going to take 2 more calls. We're going to take 2 more calls before we get out of here. So if you want to express your opinions about 3.56, give us a call. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/
Really quick,
Discord.
I don't think we ever addressed the fact that Nika's not here, did we?
Maybe not.
Yeah.
We really didn't want to.
Well, she's actually pregnant this time, guys, so she's not here today.
Jeez.
3rd baby, right?
I think it's like 8. She just pops them out like
every time she's gone, it's a new baby. Anyway, so but I think I honestly, dude, don't jump down our throats, Azuma, for being cynical or for being, disengaged or disenchanted. Like we're not alone.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's a whole Twitch channel full of FF14 players that between the chat room and calling up and directly disagreeing with you, you seem to be the one of 3 people on that side of the Red Rover room.
Yeah, you can't tell me, okay, that looking back on Square Enix's pedigree, okay, you can't tell me that the revelation of, oh look, her tattoo's disappearing, that was as compelling as the fact that Zidane was a clone, or that Sephiroth was created in a fucking lab, or that that all the orphans came from the same fucking orphanage, or that Terra's an Esper.
That's not even a spoiler. Fuck you.
Now you know.
You're triggering poor Ascali. Look at him. He's on the floor quivering.
You know how desperate he is that he has to give credit to that scene in FF8 to make his point.
Well, that's the only thing from FF8 that I could remember as like a plot twist.
One of the most universally hated parts of that story. A part even I don't like of that story.
Yeah, okay.
Renoa's a sorceress.
Yep.
Yeah.
She is.
That's a plot twist, right?
It was, yes.
Okay. That's more relevant. That's more relevant than orphan shit.
But that's my point. That twist should have been like a huge instead I was like, fuck you. Fuck you, Square Enix.
And that should really never be the reaction to a plot. Unless you're M. Night Shyamalanian or whatever the fuck.
Shammy-land.
Shammy-land.
Shammy-land, that's what it was.
M. Night Lambshanks.
Look at this woman in Jello. I'd like to point out the reason that got me so bad, because maybe in your heads it was just like a woman like wrestling in Jello or something. I actually pictured like this gigantic life-size Jello cup, and she's frozen in it like carbonite, like with just like her face and her hands pressed up against the edge of the Jello cup. When I went up there to get our drinks, I almost poured your tea into my cup because I was laughing so hard.
That was one of the dumber jokes that I've ever made. I don't even know why that was funny.
Oh, so good.
Anyway, if you want to call the show, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Come on, Scuro, do your goddamn job.
Oh, someone's called in already.
Well,
did he not tell you?
No, he didn't.
Oh my God, guys.
That's what I'm saying. He's not doing his job because I don't know whether to fucking say, to bring him on to the call or not unless he says some shit to me.
Okay, well, we got Velvet Crow calling in about some background stuff on Orthard and is excited.
What's up?
Hey, man. How's it going?
Good. So you're excited for Stormblood because of some background lore to Authored. Let us know a little bit more about that. What are we overlooking here?
Well, first of all, we have yet to run into two of Midgar Solmer's children. All right? One of them is definitely known to be at the top of Authard. And sometime during the 4.0 expansion, we should run into this one.
Is it Vertra?
And we know that this... I think it might be Vertra.
All right, that could be exciting.
I know Vertra is one of his two remaining children. I just don't know if that's the one in North.
Remember the Tiamat reveal in Heaven's Wars was pretty fucking like amazing.
And then they
didn't do anything with it. Yeah. Continue.
Yeah, and it's not. And it's just not only that. We in the lore book we have a bunch of like subtle hints at like stuff that has gone down in Authard, but we don't know anything that like completely connects Authard to Eorzea, period. And that's the main thing I'm excited for, because we know a lot about Eorzea right now, minus a bunch of stuff in Ala Mhigo because we haven't been there yet.
Right.
But once we head over to Authard, we will be able to see all the connections that, like, what happened, and the reason why some of these Al-Ra, have made it over to Eorzea.
Sure. No,
because in Ozim's Step, there's a whole
Well, there's an element of intrigue with seeing how Eorzea fits into like the global political landscape.
Absolutely,
like because we've all been within the bubble of Eorzea since the beginning of time in there.
Right.
We know Garlemald was invaders, and we know Ala Mhigo's over there, but they're still part of Eorzea.
What's weird, I mean, and we even have, we've even gotten stories from Mericidia and from, Charlayan proper, things like that. We do know that clearly there is a larger geography. We've known about, the Garlean Empire and their landmass up to the northeast. But, we've known about these for a long time, but yet still, like, for some reason, I have a tough time actually, like, accepting that Authard is on the same map, like, especially because it seems very disconnected. And when we talked about the new Heavensward zones that were added with 3.0, we did say that in a lot of ways they felt very disconnected from the rest of the world that had been built. And I think at least part of that may have influenced the decision to go over to Authard, now moving into Stormblood. And I think that is the one thing that kind of interests me, is to see how different Authard is from Eorzea. But I think that they need to, to really make it feel unique, they need to get rid of a few things that we have been very over-reliant on in Eorzea. Like, I think the idea of an Aether network should probably be something that's relegated only to Eorzea. Like, if we had to actually, traverse different terrains and go to actual different places on the map and make that feel meaningful instead of just warping a couple of different places for Gil, that may be a way to make Authard feel unique from Eorzea. Are they going to do that? Fuck no, they won't. We know that they're not going to. They don't have the balls to do that kind of thing.
But they could make it so interesting. Like if they say, well, there is no Aethernet here, but we do have an airship network here. It's important to be able to travel.
Well, look at what what World of Warcraft did with their last expansion, I'm pretty sure that they're still not flying in the new expansion.
It's coming out in this patch in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah, you have to earn it through a bunch of different achievements. So even the idea that through an expansion we have to like establish an Aethernet, an Aether network, right? And you have to accomplish certain things before you personally have access to it. That'd be fucking cool.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid Final Fantasy 14 players have to work for something.
So somebody in the chat brought up a good point. I forgot who it was now because it's up there a ways. But whatever happened to the Ascian storyline?
With Zodiark?
That's a great question.
It's kind of gone by the wayside.
God damn, that's a good question.
Right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is anyone else worried about that? I kind of am.
Are the? I mean, we kind of seen them like here and there, but are we just supposed to think like, oh, since we killed a bunch of them, that they're scared of us now?
Well,
because I don't think that's
like they were trying to work it through manipulating the Warriors of Darkness, and we've kind of like temporarily put a halt to that plan. So assuming I would assume they're still working on it, but we just don't know.
They kind of hit a snag with the whole Warriors of Darkness.
Yeah, we turned that one around on them.
But I mean, again, I think the Warriors of Darkness was such a poorly executed plot point overall.
Man, that could have been a whole expansion.
I mean, like, you could have gotten more than a fucking patch out of it. And the thing is that, like, it didn't really build on the larger narrative in any way. You just sort of had Ascians that were over here doing things with Warriors of Darkness, and none of it had an impact. Like, it didn't make a difference. They killed Ravana once, and it's like, oh, okay.
All it did to us is sort of like solidify that, all right, there are other worlds out there, and some of them. I think the only thing that was cool about that was the idea that
it built the celestial lore. I think that was the only
right. It was cool to think that, you know what, there was actually a world that was consumed by light as opposed to darkness.
I guess. I don't know. It's a little bit, though, like trying to introduce the entirety of the celestial canon from Marvel into the MCU all at once. You know what I mean? Like
in an Avengers movie instead of doing Guardians.
Exactly. Yeah. And not even in an Avengers movie, in the last third of an Avengers movie. You know what I mean? Like, if that was in the last third of the new Doctor Strange movie, that would be fucking weird, right?
It'd be stupid.
It feels shoehorned. That's what it feels like. It feels like the Warriors of Dark was a stopgap measurement to get us from 3.3 in the end of the Dragon Song War and into ramping up for Alamigo, and yet it impacted neither one of those things at all. At all. And that was, I think, the most frustrating. I think the only thing that it did was it showed how the Eyes of Nidhogg got from the Warriors of Dark possession into Ilberd's possession.
All right, Majoga.
God damn it!
If Eureka, because I think that they would have already teased this if it was, but if Eureka somehow has to do with us traveling to like the first shard or exploring the other shards, that would have me hype as fuck.
Now, what if that's also the idea behind the Ivalice raid? I mean, like, if you can go to Eureka on a different shard and Ivalice is on a different shard, and now we're just shard explorers,
shard hoppers.
Yeah, like
shard hoppers.
Is that something that you guys would be interested in seeing? I don't know that that's a plot point.
We've already seen most of Hydaelyn, so what's the point of traversing there?
Hey, you know what? It's not Weeb Town.
I mean,
it could be.
I wouldn't want to see all the different ones, but I'd like to see at least one other shard. Yeah, see what it's like, see the differences. That'd be fun to see the changes.
Not even going to any other shards, but going to a shard that's been destroyed or consumed in some way. That
I don't know that.
Cool.
I don't know that that's possible.
Maybe
just going into a void.
One of the shards is Kingdom Hearts, and we can hang out with Sora, Donald, and Goofy.
Okay. All right.
Woof.
Stop. No, you're done. Thanks for the call. If you want to call, we're going to take one more caller. By the way, Skuro, remember to tell me who the fuck it is. Genius. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord to call in. We're going to take one more caller before we get out of here. And of course, make sure to line your calls up for next week. That's right. Sit right here at twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio for a full week. Don't move a muscle. Just have a chamber pot next to you and all of your Doritos and Mountain Dew.
A chamber pot?
Yes.
Okay, now excuse
Who has chamber pots? It's just going to be a 10-gallon plastic bucket.
Yeah, when I use my chamber pot, I have to use a lot of muscles. So definite paradox there. Can't do both. Can't move a muscle and shit.
Is that not what you guys call the pot that you keep in your room?
We don't keep pots
pot
in our room.
Like the chamber pot.
No, like the pot that you smoke.
You smoke shit?
No.
Oh, so you weren't talking about shitting in a pot?
No, I was talking about the room that the weed that you keep in your room.
Oh, the marijuana.
Your chamber pot. That's right.
Oh no.
How else do you think that you're going to be able to spend a week in front of a Twitch stream that's not live?
I thought you were talking about pooping.
Oh no, there are bathrooms for that. You can get up and go to the bathroom. We'll give you permission to do that.
Still moving a pot though.
No, it's not.
Oh.
That's moving the thunder bucket.
The thunder bucket.
Anyway, all right. Do we have our last caller ready to go?
It was going to be that MURA guy, but he's not answering, so we have Crimson Tinted instead.
Oh, God. That's so disappointing because MRUA just talks up such a game in the fucking chat all episode.
He really wants to talk. He's saying, fuck you, Skuro, so maybe it's Skuro's fault.
I don't believe that for a second.
All right, let's talk to Crimson Tinted. What's up, Crimson?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'd be doing a hell of a lot better if 3.56 wasn't a fucking wet fart.
Oh, I was hoping that you were going to call in and school us, man.
I want at least one person to try to defend this.
Hey, asshole! You guys suck!
I just want Skuro, do your job and figure out if there's someone, at least one person that's calling in that wants to defend this. We'll take one more call, maybe, if there is one person. Anyway, Crimson, go on. We're not trying to shit on your call. It's just, we would love to get someone who disagreed with us today.
We got one person.
Well, because, I mean, we have a couple of people who are so, vocal in the chat room about us, not letting a fair opinion go over the air. So, if there's someone who is on the other side of this fence, let's hear from them. Anyway, Crimson, why did you think 3.56 was such a wet fart, man?
So I guess the point that I have to make, we'll cover that, but we'll actually inadvertently also have a positive thing at the end of it. So you might get a little bit of what you want. I look at the content, right, throughout the Heavensward series. I look at the story throughout the Heavensward series. And what killed me most about it was the drawn-out pacing of it as compared to 2.x. I feel like every major patch in 2.x gave you enough story, gave you enough interesting characters, gave you enough carrots that you wanted to stick around for every successive patch, whereas Heavensward continually dangled the carrot in front of your face until the very end, and then the carrot itself was disappointing. I don't feel like you can make people like string along for 3 major patches with no payoff whatsoever, and then drop a very mass sort of cherry on top at the end.
Right. No, I totally agree, and I don't even know that they even tried to go for the cherry, man. That's my problem with it.
They put a dildo on a stick and expected us to run after it.
Only Sky's gonna run after that one.
That's the double dick stick, right?
And you know what? Even he was disappointed
because it wasn't giant size.
You done fucked up.
Man, I just don't even know, dude. I just don't even know. All right, so thanks for the call. We appreciate it. Was there anyone that you wanted to shout out or any other points that you wanted to make before we let you go?
I mean, I suppose, though, as far as the positive points, I'll be real quick about it. Though the pacing of content in Heavensward was just all wrong, I do think they've at least introduced the beginnings of enough plot points where they could develop it into something interesting. Omega coming out of the ground could be something, could tell us something new and interesting about Alec and the world we're in. It could invest us if they do it right. But right now, it's just a fucking steampunk machine.
Yeah, Omega's just, chilling back with Marty McFly, fighting Biff right now. It's all that's going on.
Yeah, it really does sort of feel like that. And I'm tired of being disappointed by 14. I'm tired of having all of this expectation or having all of the, doing all of this speculation, trying to figure out where are they going to go next, and then constantly being let down by what that answer is. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, it's sort of like, the lady in red being Yida, dude, that was. It was funny because Nero is Trump tried to copy and paste that a bunch of times.
Spoil everybody at the beginning.
as if it was as if he was running in and going, Snape kills Dumbledore. No, you're not.
Everyone's just duh.
Duh.
Welcome to 6 months ago.
Right. Like, of course it was. Anyway.
Nobody even called him out for spoilers.
I
Just
know,
like,
right?
yeah, okay.
By the way, I did not get a message from Skuro on who that caller was. Again, Skuro failing to do his goddamn job.
Jesus. Did he send you like a large list of people who were going to call?
Yes, he did. And
What?
like, why?
Oh my God.
Why?
I told
Why
him
would you
not
do
to
that?
do that.
Why would you do that?
Say earlier in the show,
One at a time.
When I had the iPad up, I would see something come through, and it was just like 2 callers waiting. One caller in Discord, 2 on the line.
I don't need constant updates. I just need to know who's on the line and ready to go so that I can fucking address them by name.
All you do is Crimson Tinted from so-and-so server wants to talk about wet farts.
Like, seriously, honestly,
though?
Kooky is going to fucking flip her shit. Kooky is going to be so legitimately pissed when she hears this episode and hear how badly Skuro fucked up. Just how, and it's not even that he fucked up and is like trying his best to fix it. It's like he's fucking up and trying like being worse at it because he thinks it's funny or cute.
Speaking of which, Kooky just sent us a message. Am rushing home. Am tired.
Kooky, please don't.
We miss you.
How are you so bad at the simplest of fucking tasks? Like I think Skuro is just kind of like he's sitting around thinking that I'm being funny, like I'm being funny mean at him, and he doesn't actually understand that I will never let him do this again, that I will never let him hold this kind of responsibility for Limit Break Radio ever again.
You know what's sad is that he still has that one clip from that one show where you praised him at the end.
We can delete that.
No, he probably has it saved to his computer. He probably
now he does.
He
You
probably
stupid idiot.
faps to that shit.
I mean, seriously, like how incompetent do you have to be taken off of call screening as a fucking responsibility? You know what you did, Skuro? You know what you've done? And everyone can thank Skuro for this. You've just ensured that Kooky can never take another weekend off. That's what you did.
You
fucked up so bad.
We have to punish Kooky.
No, we're not punishing Kooky, but we can't afford to not have her on a weekend, which means that we're gonna have to talk to her about how much to, compensate her to make sure that she can be here every Sunday. But I mean, this is proof positive that we can't trust Skuro with something like this.
Wait a second. I have an idea.
What?
If we put Juxta back on calls, because remember, when he's on calls, he has to concentrate.
That's right.
He can't contribute to the conversation.
That's right.
Which means if we put him on calls, he derails less.
That's true.
It's kind of like when you have a kid you're babysitting and you just give them a toy and hope that they fuck off and leave you alone.
So who would we bring in as a host if Juxta is too busy?
Prince Clary.
Oh, yeah, that's not a bad idea.
That way we get actual real opinions.
No, that
and
doesn't work.
Thought-provoking
Prince
conversation.
Clary can only replace Escalia, which is fine by me. Don't get me wrong, but
don't shift the blame over here. We're on you right now.
I think if we took the responsibility away from Skuro of the phone lines, and we placed that squarely back on you, and you were running drops.
Yep.
Now you're contributing in the only 2 ways that you really genuinely do contribute to the show.
The only other way is we clone Kooky.
So what you're saying is, I have to fuck up as bad as Skuro, so I don't have to do calls again.
Except
that's what I'm hearing.
Except since you're here, we will just beat you.
Yeah. It'll come along with a completely different set of expectations.
Yeah.
Okay, well, guess what? If you beat me, that's just Tuesday night, Daddy.
All right, one last thing before we go. We had talked about this at the beginning of the show, kind of speculated what we thought it might end up being, and I just kind of wanted to share this. This just popped across the Twitter feed.
Yeah, but no one's going to get it. I don't think they would do that. No one's going to get the reference.
What do you mean?
What?
That's what you said earlier. That no one's going to get that reference.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
turns out they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, obviously FF people get the reference, but anyone who doesn't have any vested interest in Final Fantasy XIV is just
do wrestling fans get it? Probably not. But
they're just gonna be like, aha, they're being crazy again.
Here you go. There is a picture of the Chocobo ice cream cart.
Oh my God!
The fat Chocobo ice cream cart, as well as the samurai get-ups that The New
E's
Day,
rocking.
the New Day is rocking on the way to the
Kofi's got
stage.
his Red Mage gimmick garb on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like a red magey and samurai motif that they all have going.
I dig it.
I think it's kind of clever. I mean,
logos all over the place.
Look, the fact Xavier Woods is a great guy, and I'm a big fan of his. So I think just by virtue of the fact that it's him doing it, I'm willing to give it way more of a pass. But I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
The samurai shit though is just a little bit.
No, that conversation went, all right, Kofi, here's what I want to do. And Kofi said, hell yeah. And he's like, all right, Biggie, this is what I want to do. And Biggie said, whatever. That's how that conversation went.
Well, there you
Infinity
go.
Fox says, well, no one's buying Stormblood now.
I can't wait to get home and watch this. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
Is that our Red Mage AF?
Yes, hopefully.
Okay, good.
Can it be a wrestling singlet?
What's a singlet?
It's the thing that they wear.
It's what Biggie is wearing right now in that picture. It's a singlet.
That's a samurai.
No, that's the samurai belt and robe. But that thing underneath it. That's what I think the Red Mage AF should be.
Hell yeah.
Just the spandex. None of the other shit. Just the spandex.
Oh, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I knew you would be fine with it. I didn't understand why you were giving me shit about it.
After we get the gold saucer bunny.
Oh my
bunny
God.
outfit for males.
That was on the Jumbotron. Are those chocobo balls down there at the bottom?
Oh my God, they do. I think those are supposed to be fat chocobo legs, but those do look like chocobo.
Fat chocobo balls.
They look like fat chocobo testicles. Dear God.
Dear Lord.
Oh my God. Anyway, shout out to Xavier Woods and WrestleMania. I think that's what all of us are going to go fuck off and watch right now.
Bye, losers.
Thanks for tuning in, calling in. We want to thank all of our callers today. It's been interesting hearing from y'all. Did we ever get one that was on the other side of the fence?
Yeah.
Kind of.
That wanted to defend?
Yeah, we had the guy call and talk about how he's interested in Othard.
I think
That was it? That was it?
Velvet Crow.
That was
about
it?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was excited
Yeah, that was about it, though.
because we don't know anything about Othard.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think that's a driving reason for me.
It doesn't make me hype.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't. And that's the thing.
I'm not like, oh yeah, I get to walk through all these cool new zones one time and then remember everything because that's about the only time they stay new.
I'll tell you what I'm not hyped for is that stupid ramen bowl zone.
Really?
I'm so salty about that.
Why?
It looks so stupid.
You don't.
You are like the king of stupid looking
know,
shit,
and-
though.
and
It's not stupid looking enough, so it's just dumb. They're trying to make like the stupid shit look normal, which just makes it stupid. If you're gonna be stupid, make it stupid, not stupid normal. Right, right, Escalia?
If it's going to be dumb, go whole hog on it.
Yeah, fucking give me a fat chocobo. Give me fucking fat chocobo head, slime helmet. That shit's fine.
Yeah, think about
Don't half-ass it.
Think about like the Paisa house. Like if it had just been like
Yes!
kind of like themed after a Paisa rather than just being a full-on Paisa, it would have been fucking stupid.
Yes, thank you. Someone gets it.
Will you end the show, please?
But they can't do that. They can't do that for an entire fucking city zone.
Why
They
not?
can't just be like, it's stupid. This is dumb city.
yeah, he's like, oh, it can't
They
just
did
be
it
a bowl. They should have actually had like the ramen logo carved into the side. Then it would have been fine.
Yeah, if it had top ramen on the side, I would have thought it was funny.
Or if there
Cup
was
noodle.
If there was a giant building that looked like chopsticks in the bowl, cool.
That'd have been awesome.
Shut up.
Cup noodle.
You're dumb.
Final Fantasy 15.
Go
Fuck you.
away.
It's a thing.
Shut up.
Discovered a new recipe.
Stop making words.
The next time you tune in, there will be 2 hosts because we killed the other ones.
Quit breathing. That escalated quickly.
Penis.
All right, let's get out of here. Thanks, guys, for tuning into Limit Break Radio today. Join us next week. We're going to be comparing the entirety of 2.0 versus the entirety of 3.0, and we're going to want to hear from you. Which did you think was better, 2.0 or 3.0? I think we know what the answer is going to be, but we're asking you anyway. So
it was rhetorical.
You've got a week to think about it. LimitBreakRadio.com is our website. Twitch.tv/LimitBreakRadio. Make sure that you're joining us at 4 p.m. I want to thank my crew. Skuro, thanks for nothing. But also, Kahlo, Landis, Juxtaposition, and Escalia Rayumasa. My name's Nero. Keep listening. Now, Limit Break Radio is a production of LimitBreakRadio.com and Bender Media Productions. This episode was produced by Aniro Grigori, Carlo Landis, and Juxtaposition, and Kooky Persona. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. Funding for Limit Break Radio is provided by Miri Kennett, Satori Komeji, Dark Flux, Null Packet, Shira Heartslot, and fellow Limit Break Radio listeners. Hey, I'm a dragon. To support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. Opening music in this episode from Daniel Lambie. Listen to Man with the Machine Gun and other great tracks at facebook.com/Daniel Lambie Metal Gamer. Closing music in this episode provided by Husky by the Geek. Listen to this and other great Final Fantasy XIV and video game rock covers and original music at facebook.com/Husky by the Geek. In-game graphics for Limit Break Radio's Twitch stream are provided by Diamond Multimedia. Check out their line of AMD graphics cards and other hardware at diamondmm.com. Limit Break Radio and its hosts are solely responsible for its content. Hey, I'm a dragon over here!